want to ask some questions and give members of the panel a chance to ask some questions. Mr. Ratzenberger, I'm well aware of the work that you have done for some time in trying to impress upon Americans today the importance of teaching hands-on skills at an early age. And I know that many of us up here, probably from an earlier generation, when I was in high school, industrial arts was a required course. You know, we had to take a mower apart and put it back together and learn other things like that. And today, I don't think those courses are even options for a lot of people. So tell me why you think it's important that we expose young people today, children at an early age, to that kind of hands-on learning.
As we know that the brain is formed between the ages of 0 and 5 years old. And throughout history, all the great tinkerers that have moved mankind forward, from Da Vinci, Thomas Edison, Gutenberg, Steve Jobs, Benjamin Franklin, they all tinkered as children. They didn't go to school. Thomas Edison didn't go to school and say, I want to learn how to make a light bulb. He, in fact, only had 3 months of formal education. Most of his time was hanging around a shipyard in Lake Erie, learning how to tinker, learning how to form things, shape things, fix things, invent things. Same thing with Steve Jobs. I actually had this conversation before he passed away, and he liked working on cars with his dad. So the more interested you get people into using their hands, Leonardo da Vinci was an illegitimate child that was ignored throughout his childhood. He hung around a farm. That's where he became Leonardo da Vinci. So by the time they get to be 18 years old and graduate from wherever they're graduating from, if they don't have the seed planted in them of using their hands and shaping and forming things, and we can also eliminate those trophies, the high self-esteem trophies that we're so fond of giving out. Well, high self-esteem comes from making things. You make something from scratch. You draw it, you shape it, you build it. That's self-esteem, because you can look at it 30 years later. I always do when I show my kids who are growing now, and since they were little, I'd point out a roof of a building that I put up during one particularly gruesome New England winter. And every time we'd drive by, I'd say, yeah, I put the roof on that. And when they were younger, they'd say, oh, gee, Dad, that's great, that's great. Well, once they got older, they went, yeah, we know, you put the roof on. But still, it's something you can point at. It's self-esteem, and that's where it comes from. It never comes from handing out a trophy for coming in 11th. You have to put your hand to something useful, and that's what brought us to the dance. Just so, dance with the one who brought you. And it wasn't theory that brought us here. It's somebody who knew how to use tools.